Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. You're listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and today's topic is change. And is there, because I too believe there is, stability in change. But I'm going to get back to that in a moment because I am Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. And you can find me on Instagram, Feel to Heal with Sharyn, and you can email me, Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com, or always check out my website, Feel to Heal. And please, please, please also join in on the Inspired Choices Network. Log in to the chat room. I would love for you to join me live and give me feedback. And thank you so much for those of you who have already given me feedback. I really appreciate it. It's been incredible. This has been an incredible journey and change. For those of you who can see, I cut my hair. Because this week has all been about change and choosing to do things differently, going with the flow of change, because there is stability in change, meaning there will always be change. You can count on there being change. There's change from moment to moment, right now. Right now. See, I just changed. Turned my hand around, change. It can be as simple as that. And then it could be as big as saying yes to doing a podcast and a show each week. This is my 51st show. And I have been so grateful to myself and to everyone who supported me in my being scared shitless and doing something different, in changing my trajectory, in changing my life. So I really, truly have learned to embrace change instead of dreading it, even though I'm still afraid. I still feel the fear and do it anyway because it's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable because as soon as we get used to doing one thing, we then are forced to do something else. And each year we grow. It's a whole change. So that's why we look back on our life for the past year. And then, of course, we have the new year that we all participate in. And we get to look back and see what we've done. And then we also get to project going forward and, doing a calendar for the next year. It's so interesting to me that one of the things in all of my Google Docs, someone I connected to put in the calendar for 2023, the whole calendar for 2023. I'm like, well, that's sort of fascinating. Again, it's all about change. And so how much control do you actually have over change? Now, I've been saying for the longest time, you have 100% control over no control. So the big things that you say yes to, once you've said yes to them, the energy will then take you. And that's the biggest thing that I have learned this past year with regards to my life. My life has truly been about this incredible show that I said yes to. I have learned and grown and changed so much for the good, for the bad, for the ugly, for the perfect, for the imperfect, for everything from the whole spectrum. the whole spectrum that I've been talking to you about for the past year. And that's why I can say that there is stability and change. And my producer was saying just before, I don't know if you all caught it, that it's an oxymoron, stability and change. Of course it is. Our lives are filled with oxymorons. Our lives are filled with one and then the other. I mean, bittersweet. You can't have bitter without sweet, and you can't have sweet without bitter. And that's what I've been talking about from the get-go. So, a little bit more about me and my approach to therapy and life is that you are whole and complete as you are, and that there's nothing that needs to be changed. There may be things that you would like to do differently because you would like a different outcome for yourself. Although you are whole and complete as you are, just like I am whole and complete as I am. And this whole experience has been about change for me, doing something different, embracing different energies that I have called in each week with each different topic. And I'm so lucky that I haven't done it all by myself. And that's also the beautiful thing, that if you actually stopped and looked around, you would notice that even within the midst of all of your own personal change, you haven't been alone. You might not have always liked the person that's come along with you or the fact that you've needed to change, although you actually have not been alone, because no one lives in a vacuum. We all are on this road, this course together. And that is so fucking amazing. Because you can't have change without talking about beginnings and endings. And so in the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So again, grateful that I said yes. So grateful to all of you who've participated in watching me change and grow. For all of you who have watched and listened to my stumbling, my foibles, my crying, my allowing, my openings, all of it. And in supporting me and laughing with me, and then even at me, because I'm okay with that too. I'm so okay that I got to just be me. So much suffering, so much of our suffering comes when we try and stop the flow of change. It's inevitable, people. It's going to happen. Just as the day turns into night and the night turns into day, every single day. Change. Change. So by connecting and allowing yourself to just go with the flow, there's ease. And then there can also be grace with that ease. Stop fighting yourself. Stop fighting the inevitable. Change. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to like it. Just stop fighting it, because that is half the battle. You know, before each and every show, I am so nervous and excited, both. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know, though, if I don't fight it, because that's what I know I did in the beginning. I fought it. I fought myself. I fought all the thoughts in my head. And now I just go with the flow. Now I'm just 100% present, or present to the best of my ability, because shit still happens, you know? Siri will start talking to me, my phone will ring, a text will come across my screen. Those things have all happened during the course of one of my recordings, and yet just go with the flow. Could you imagine what your life would be like if you just went with the flow? Allow yourself your thoughts and your feelings, and then move with it. And then when you do have a moment, then be present with your thoughts and your feelings. Because yes, I could be really annoyed. I could have gotten so annoyed with the text coming through. I could have gotten so annoyed with somebody calling me, knowing that I'm in the middle of a show recording. All of my friends know. Yes, they forget because they have their own lives. And that's also okay. Although I would be right and justified in being pissed off at them, because how do they not know? But who, at the end of the day, really fucking cares? Going with the flow. Change with ease and with grace, because change is going to happen. And doing nothing is doing something. So if you think you can avoid it, good luck with that. Seriously, there's no avoiding it. It's going to happen. Did you hear me? Change. It's going to happen. That's also why there's stability in it. Because if we would just embrace it and just know, just be in the knowing that change is going to happen. And here's the secret. It doesn't have to be negative. It can actually be positive. So we're so afraid that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, that our fear becomes so strong that the change is going to be horrible, that we don't allow for the possibility for it to be amazing. I mean, how many of us, me included, have cut off our nose to spite our face because we are so afraid of change? Because we were so afraid that the change happening would be scary, harmful, hurtful, that we wouldn't be able to handle it, that it would just be so big that we'd rather stay small, because small is what we know. Small is comfortable. Change is uncomfortable. So be uncomfortable. That's what I also mean by being scared shitless. I was scared shitless because I knew I was going to be uncomfortable when I said yes to putting myself out there week after week, show after show, bearing my soul, talking about topics that were deep, that were scary, that were surfacey, that were going to work me, all of it. And now I just have gratitude, because I've learned, because I've done it enough now, that I can handle change, that I can go with the flow, that I can go with the ups and the downs, and knowing that it is going to be what it is going to be. I know it is what it is. How many times have you heard that? Because people are trying to shove that down your throat, and make peace with that. Make peace with the fact that it is what it is, because you have 100% control over no control. So with that breath that I just received, we're going to take our first break. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and today's topic is change. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the stability of change. See you back in a minute.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to, before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is obtainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the incredible Inspired Choices Network. And today's topic is change. The stability is in knowing that change is going to happen. Let that sink in. I usually start off with the definition of change, and there's so many definitions of change that I was a little bit overwhelmed. The one that I'm going to use in terms of the jumping off point as to where this whole show is all about is, what do you mean by change? To become different, to undergo transformation, transition, or substitution. Because some things never change. Although, like I said, as day follows night, as winter precedes spring, and then spring turns into fall, and then fall turns into winter, constantly changing. We're constantly changing. Our cells are dying and rebirthing constantly in every moment. And yet we get so hung up and so afraid that we become stagnant and we don't allow ourselves to try new things because we need to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. To me, that's the actual opposite of change. The definition of insanity is the opposite of change, because change is sanity, the stability, the knowing that things are going to change. I am assuming, because I do that, so correct me if I'm wrong here, that you have had days where you could not wait for the day to end, for you to go to sleep, for you to wake up the next day and be given actually a clean slate to do things over, or to leave those thoughts and feelings in the past, because that's what we get to do each day. All this incredible newness. And that is the precursor to change. It allows us, it gives us the opportunity to change. I cannot get over how much change I've experienced in the past week. I purposely cut my hair for change. I drove my son to school for the beginning of his sophomore year. Major change. Again, change is happening everywhere. And I did a lot of tearing because I'm sad. He's no longer here. He was here with me all summer. And now he's on his next adventure. And so I'm happy and excited for him. And yet I'm sad for me. And guess what? That's okay. He gets to keep changing and growing and living his life And yet he still gets to call me and share that with me. And I am so grateful. I had an incredible 5-hour car ride with him. And I'm so lucky and grateful for that. And Saturday was all about change and all about his apprehension and my apprehension and our fear of the change, of knowing that life is going to look different. He's going to go to sleep in a completely different room that's going to be his for the next school year. Change. We knew it was going to happen. We embraced it. We drove pretty much in silence for the first half of the ride because I was just matching him and where he was and allowing him to have his process, knowing that it was inevitable rather than fight it. And I didn't want him to fight with himself. We fear change because it means that the outcomes are unknown. They're unknown. And as I've said before multiple times, our brains are designed for us to find peace in the knowing. Except that is the oxymoron. There is no peace in the unknowing unless you embrace the 100% control over no control. What our brains, our minds like to do is create all these incredible scenarios of all the things that could go wrong because we're so afraid to actually think about all the things that could go right. Because if they don't, then we'll feel unprepared. So it's like hoping for the best, being prepared for the worst. How about being prepared for the best? And also being prepared for the worst, meaning holding the space that everything is going to go exactly as you would like, exactly as planned, knowing that there's going to absolutely be some wrench. There's absolutely going to be some wrench being thrown in. So, of course, when we got to school, my son was given his access card and it didn't work because the school messed up. Okay. So somehow we let somebody let us in to his room. We moved what we could, and then we walked to where we needed to go for him to get his card fixed. It was, and then everything went smoothly after that. And we could have let that trip us up. We could have let that snag totally ruin the whole moving in process. Oh, yeah, duh. Okay. Here's the other thing. I went to Target on Friday before we left with my son, and we bought everything that he needed. Target had everything. I said, oh, we'll just leave it in my car, and then we'll remember to put it in your car before we leave. As you know, we didn't. So my son says, oh my God, Mom, we're such dumbasses. And I just looked at him. He said, we forgot to put the stuff in the car. And we both just started laughing. I said, okay, let's go to Target and let's repurchase everything. And I will then come back to LA and I will return most of the things that I purchased because, of course, I still did have the receipt. Unfortunately, though, Target did not have everything because everyone was also going to Target because this is the Target closest to school. And anyway, so we just laughed about it because what else are we going to do? Seriously. He could have gotten pissed off at me. I could have gotten pissed off at him. We could have blamed each other for both forgetting. And yet we just laughed about it. because life happens and shit happens and we're both human and we both forgot. Did we plan on forgetting? Did we intentionally want to screw up our experience? No, except we're human and we both forgot. We were both just so focused on getting on the road and leaving on time so we'd be able to get to school that both of us completely forgot. And I am so grateful to my son that he didn't get angry at me and pissed off at me and blame me, that he too just went with the flow. And we went to Target and purchased everything again. That's it. Not the end of the world. So for those of you who can see, this is this month's Psychology Today. How you change. It's got starting with your 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and the 60s. And I obviously get Psychology Today because I'm a therapist, and you can also find me through Psychology Today because I have a profile up. And I was so grateful to read the article because what I've been saying for the longest time is now written in a magazine. David Rettew, R-E-T-T-E-W, wrote in this article, Why Childhood Matters So Much. Because what we've learned about the years when personality kicks into high gear. During the school age period, which often refers to the time from kindergarten to puberty, which is what I've been talking about, the complex dance between a child's early temperament and their experience kicks into high gear. So he says, many frameworks describe 3 core traits: negative emotionality, how much a child tends to experience negative emotions like fear, anger, and frustration. Then extroversion, how much a child tends to experience positive emotions like joy and excitement, and the degree to which they like more stimulating environments, and a regulatory dimension that describes their ability to focus, stay in control, and work toward their goals. So one of the magical aspects of this developmental period is the way that these early appearing dimensions become more enriched and complex as a child's emerging cognitive abilities mix with these basic tendencies. So even more fullness to the picture comes as the child's personality's traits shape and are shaped by the environment around them. So as you continue to grow, now my words, as you continue to grow based on the experiences you had in your childhood, you then now grow and you get to make different decisions and you get to learn and run it through a different filter. So you're going to have the filter that you experienced as a child. And then once prefrontal cortex is fully formed, you then get to decide whether you want to change your perspective of yourself, of your life, and how you think things should be. You have so much more control than you think you do. So we're going to take another short little break. And when we come back, we're going to actually move into a meditation on change and flow, which I'm really excited about because I think it's going to help us all then change and go with the flow. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with me, Sharyn Nichols, on the Incredible Inspired Choices Network, and I will see you back here in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to, before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is obtainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show. Today's topic is change and the stability in change. And I want to move us into a meditation. This meditation is Angela Levesque. It's her meditation that I've been using. She does say feel free to use it for personal use. So I have been, and it's definitely something that I want to share because it is perfect in its own right, and it is incredibly powerful. So let's all receive a breath and find a comfortable place to sit. And if possible, put your bare feet flat on the floor and support your back. And allow your eyes to close and begin to follow your own breath, drawing the deep breath down into the belly. Exhaling slowly and completely. Now bringing your attention and awareness to the top of your head. Breathe in slowly as you move your awareness down your face, into your shoulders, letting the muscles of your face release and relax. Pausing for a moment at your shoulders and your neck. Noticing the subtle movement as they rise and fall with your breath. On your next inhalation, move your awareness into your chest. Let your breath fill your rib cage. And on the exhale, move into a deeper space of rest and calm. Now moving your breath and awareness into your lower abdomen and hips. As you slowly breathe in, Let the area fill and expand with your breath, and release slowly and completely on the exhale. Now allowing your awareness and your breath to flow down into your legs, allowing your thighs to soften as the breath moves through them and continues to flow over the knees and into the lower legs. Again, noticing that with each breath, you move into a deeper space of rest and calm. And finally, allowing your breath and awareness to flow all the way down your body and into the soles of your feet and out into the earth beneath you. Doing a scan of your body, slowly moving your awareness from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Is there anywhere you are holding on to extra energy? This energy might take the form of restlessness or a feeling of wanting to move or fidget. It's the same energy that has you usually checking your phone or feeling ungrounded. Take a moment to acknowledge that feeling. Just witness it. No need to try and change it or satisfy it. Just let your restlessness be in your consciousness for a moment or two. And now returning to the breath. See if you can take that restless or nervous energy and fold it into the breath, letting the energy get swept up in the breath, and letting it flow out of the body with each exhale. And as you fold that nervousness or restless energy into the breath, you're letting the breath provide a vehicle for its release. So with each exhale, move into a deep place of calm, peace, and relaxation. So now we're going to take this one step further as we learn to flow with change. I want you to imagine sitting safely on a log at the edge of a babbling brook. Your feet are in the cool but comfortable water. There's a faint scent of wildflowers in the air. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your face and a sense of peace in your body. As you breathe in, your whole being softens and expands with your breath. And as you breathe out, a deep sense of comfort and ease flows down your body and into the brook, into the water. Take a few moments to really be present and take in these beautiful surroundings. I want you now to focus on moving your breath into the water, into the movement, taking each breath and allowing it to flow down your body and into the brook. And as you do this, notice and feel a deep connection between you and the natural world. You understand that you and the natural world and this flowing brook are not separate. You are a part of each other. So as the water flows gently by, allow yourself to surrender to the flow, connecting yourself to the natural flow of life. Now I would like for you to expand your awareness slightly, seeing if you can be the water for a moment. Allow yourself to explore what it might feel like to flow with ease, not moving too fast or too slow, just flowing at the perfect pace in the perfect time. And just like your breath, allow the water to be a vehicle for any unwanted energy. Letting all that pent up energy be released by the breath and allowed to flow out and away into the water. Letting the water carry away any stress or stagnant energy, leaving you feeling refreshed and balanced. Take a few moments and move with the water, letting it take what you no longer want to hold on to, and allow yourself to receive rejuvenation and peace in its place. Now I want you to bring yourself back to your seat on the log at the edge of the brook, feeling the cool, comfortable water on your feet and the warmth of your sun on your face. Notice the deeper sense of connection between you and your surroundings, the deeper sense of peace and groundedness. Remember that you can come back at any time to the flow of the water whenever your life may seem too hectic or out of control, knowing that you can come back to this moment of ease and grace. Receiving a breath and bringing your awareness back into your body as you sit now in your chair, feeling the firm ground beneath your feet, taking a deep breath and bringing yourself back into your body, becoming aware of your surroundings. And when you feel ready, allowing your eyes to open, aware and alert, knowing that you have 100% control over no control, knowing that there is always a calm, babbling brook for which you can stick your feet in and allow the flow of life to happen with you and for you and not to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to take a short break from the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we just completed a meditation. And when we come back in a moment, I'm going to wrap it all up and I have some fun things to share. See you back in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is attainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. We just did a meditation in the last segment, and now I'm going to wrap it all up. Feel to Heal show, myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the incredible Inspired Choices Network, and change. It's all about change, baby. And for those of you who've been listening for as long as I've been doing this, I usually have a song in my head, and the song that has been going through my head is the lyrics from Time to Change from the Brady Bunch, because autumn turns to winter and winter turns to spring. It doesn't go just for seasons, it goes for everything. And when it's time to change, you've got to rearrange who you are and what you're gonna be. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na. Sorry, I had to share that because this is what has been going on in my head. I've been playing it over and over and over again. And so I'm so excited to change the song for next week. And I so am a creature of my past, and so excited that that I get to now do things differently, that I get to change. And if there's one thing that I've gotten, it's there's no point in fearing change. I wasted so much of my life being so afraid of it. And I see how it's constricted myself and those around me and my clients. And here's the thing. If you're present, there is no actual change. The change comes from our fear of the future or being stuck in the past. Because if we're so afraid of doing things differently in the future, and we're still holding on to the past that we're resisting change, it keeps us stuck. Because there is no change in the present moment, because change is happening as I'm speaking in the present moment. Change is already happening. I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to acknowledge it, because it's just happening. It just is. It's always happening. Just like time is always happening, love is always happening. All the higher based energies are always happening. It's your choice whether you want to choose to participate in them. So your storyline is always full of choices. You get to choose what you want to do differently. When I first started out, I decided one day that I should write a book. And I sat down and started to write and like, no, not me. I'm so much better at speaking. And so, of course, as the universe always works, it was presented to me that why don't I do a podcast? It would give me the perfect opportunity to explore all these incredible topics that I know I want to write about. So a chapter is not a book. We're so afraid that if we end a chapter, that we're going to have to start another one. And therefore, then that may be the end of the book. Although that's not how life works. You get to start new chapters all the time. We have beginnings and endings. That's what change is. It's the beginning and the ending. And sometimes things can begin and be years before they end. And sometimes they can begin and end in the next moment. It's about your embracing the idea that things are going to actually change. And here's the other thing that I've truly gotten about change. It's not perfect. I haven't always liked it. I've for sure fought it. And then once I've let go of the resistance, it's been wonderful. It's been an incredible ride. Because you get to be, I'm assuming you've heard this before, that you are the writer, director, producer of your own movie. So you get to say, you actually have control as the director and as the writer and even the producer as to how things are going to go. So embrace the unexpected twists that life will bring to you. And know that you have no control over anybody else. So therefore, then you have 100% control over no control. Because you also don't even have 100% control over yourself. Because we need each other. You cannot change within a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. You need others in order to change. We are so deluded into thinking that, if we just do it differently, things, again, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So the change has to come within you, consciously choosing, being so fucking scared shitless and still showing up and doing something different and being okay with whatever the outcome is. And knowing that something is going to be new for the first time you do it, but by the last time, I'd like to think that you figured it out. And that there's perhaps always something new to be done different each and every time. That's the beautiful thing that I've also received for myself. Oh my gosh, I've run out of time. Thank you so much. See, change is always happening. Time is always changing. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week when I do a year in review and wrap it all up.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.